Is it her fault? The anxiety, the people-pleasing, the constant feeling that you're never enough. This Mother's Day, we're not starting with flowers. We're starting with the woman who shaped your first idea of love. Let's talk about it. Mother's Day is usually wrapped in flowers, heartfelt messages, gratitude. The idea that you only get one mom. But today we're going a little deeper. Not into blame, not into guilt, but into the quiet patterns we started carrying long before we had words for them. Because sometimes, the things we call personality are actually old survival strategies. And before anyone misunderstands, this is not about pointing fingers. It's not about saying, "You ruined me." It's about understanding where certain parts of us began. The ones we grew up believing were simply who we are. Because what you call anxiety today may have once been adaptation. What you call people-pleasing may have once been a way to stay safe. And what you call, "this is just how I am," may actually be a childhood program no one ever helped you rewrite. In psychology, we often talk about how deeply our earliest years shape us, especially the first 7 years of life. During that time, a child doesn't analyze the world the way an adult does. They don't think, "Mom is overwhelmed right now, that's why she's not responding to me." They don't think, "Dad is stressed, but this isn't about me." A child simply records. If they are loved, they learn, "I am safe." If they are rejected, they learn, "Something is wrong with me." If they are praised, they learn, "I have value." If they are laughed at, they learn, "It's safer not to show who I really am." And these things don't get stored as thoughts. They get stored as automatic subconscious programs. That's why someone can grow up to be successful, smart, talented, and still feel deep inside, "I'm not good enough." Let's look at an example. If a mother often rejects her child, constantly sends them to someone else, keeps outsourcing emotional attention, doesn't notice their achievements, doesn't praise them, and sometimes even laughs at them, the child usually doesn't grow up thinking, "My mother didn't know how to love me well." Instead, they internalize this. "I am not lovable." And from that belief, so many adult patterns can grow. They fear rejection. They don't dare to make the first move. They magnify every mistake. One piece of criticism can crush them. If someone doesn't reply to their message, they immediately think, "They must be mad at me." And from the outside, they may still be smiling, performing, working hard, helping everyone else. But inside, they are constantly trying to prove their worth. Support is not a luxury for a child. It is emotional ground. When a mother is present, encouraging, and reflects the child's worth back to them, the child can develop a basic inner feeling. "I can do this. There is a place for me in the world." But when support is missing, a child often learns way too early. "I have to handle everything on my own. I can't ask. I can't bother anyone. I can't count on anybody." And in adulthood, that can become the person who takes everything on by themselves but has no idea how to ask for help. The person who is exhausted but still says, "It's fine, I'll figure it out." Attachment works the same way. A strong, secure attachment says, "I can connect with someone and I don't have to be afraid of losing myself in the process." But when that attachment is missing, it often leads to one of two extremes. A person may cling, panic, control, and constantly need reassurance. Or they may do the complete opposite, keep everyone at a distance because they learn that letting someone get close is dangerous. And yes, overprotection leaves a mark too. If every decision is made for a child, if they are always rescued, always warned in advance about every possible danger, then as an adult, they may be full of self-doubt. Not because they are weak, but because they never got to practice what it feels like to face something with their own strength. Healthy independence says, I'm here if you need me, but I trust you. That is a huge difference. And then there are heavier patterns: abuse, humiliation, emotional coldness, constant restriction, emotional blackmail. These are not parenting styles. These are wounds. A child who is constantly forbidden from doing things may grow into an adult who is afraid of their own desires. A child who is always punished may become terrified of making mistakes. A child who is raised with no boundaries at all may later struggle with limits, with hearing no, and with consequences. Because every extreme teaches something. Too little love teaches, I'm not worth much. Too much control teaches, I can't trust myself. Too much permissiveness teaches, the world should adjust to me. But here comes the most important part. A childhood program is not a sentence. It is not your final destiny. It is not a stamp on your forehead. The first step is not to hate your mother. The first step is to recognize what is truly your choice and what you simply learned to repeat. Ask yourself, why am I so afraid of criticism? Why do I feel like I always have to prove myself? Why can't I say no? Why do I choose people who make me feel small all over again? And when you find the pattern, don't be ashamed of it. Observe it. Because what you can observe, you are no longer living out automatically. Healing is often not one big dramatic moment. It is a series of small, new choices. Learning to say no, accepting praise, not falling apart over a mistake, asking for help, believing that you don't have to be perfect to be lovable. On Mother's Day, it is possible to be grateful and still honestly look at what hurt. Because maturity is not calling everything beautiful. Maturity is being able to say, what I received shaped me, but I don't have to keep operating the same way forever. If this video touched something in you, write in the comments which sentence hit you the hardest. And if you think this could help someone else understand their own patterns, send it to them. This was the Mother's Day special edition of Fake Off Mind. Take care of yourself, and take care of the inner child in you who is still waiting for answers.